After my twin sister learned that I had saved a handsome alpha, she dyed her hair blonde like mine and sprayed herself with my perfume, pretending that she was the one who saved him. As a result, the alpha successfully became her boyfriend. However, at the alpha's inheritance ceremony, he discovered that I was his fated mate. I grew up in my sister's shadow. When we were born, our parents were thrilled. Twins were a blessing, after all. But from the start, she was the star. Natalia's dark hair and blue eyes were a dream, while my blonde hair made me strange to others. And when I was sickly as a child, always needing medication, I faded even more into the background. My parents were amazing pack doctors. But I never had the same natural talent as Natalia. She was perfect and everyone adored her. I was just average. When we were 13, something happened that made our differences even clearer. She shifted into a wolf. I was left watching, unable to transform like most wolves her age. My parents' disappointment was subtle but palpable, and so, I was cast further into the background. Then, he came into my life, Falco Lark. I was walking through the forest one morning when I found him, a rogue, unconscious, and wild. His scent was strange, but there was something about him that made me stay. When his eyes met mine, I could barely breathe. His words, my love, sent a rush through me. I didn't know this man, but in that moment, he saw me. When we took him back to our estate, I couldn't stop thinking about him. The next day, he stood in the training grounds, having joined our pack. As I watched, I hoped, maybe this time, someone would see me. But of course, he didn't. He saw my sister, Natalia. She smiled, and I watched as his eyes lit up in recognition. My love, he whispered, his voice full of relief. I felt my heart shatter. He didn't even glance my way. Just like always, I was invisible, a shadow. 2 years later, things hadn't changed. Natalia was still the shining star, and I stayed the same, plain, ordinary Karina. She took whatever she wanted from me. One evening, she barged into my room, stealing my perfume. I said nothing, as I had learned not to fight it. How do I look? She asked, knowing full well I'd say she looked perfect. I did, of course, and when I mentioned I liked my own dress, she scoffed. It's simple, just like you. I swallowed the sting, smiled, and went downstairs. At dinner, I noticed the chocolate cake from Lenara Bake Shop. It was Natalia's, of course. My mom made sure of it. Even when it came to the little things, she was always first, but I was used to it. We went to the party afterward, where everyone fawned over Natalia. I hung back, ignored as usual. My dad reminded me not to make trouble for her, and I stayed quiet, avoiding the attention. Falco's official acceptance into the pack as alpha heir was the highlight of the evening. The moment he entered the garden, he drew all eyes. He was breathtaking, tall, strong, and impossibly handsome in his black suit. I couldn't stop looking at him. Don't look at my boyfriend like that, Natalia hissed in my ear, snapping me out of my trance. Her boyfriend? I quickly looked away, my cheeks burning. As the ceremony wrapped up, I slipped away from the crowd, seeking peace behind the house. That's when I smelled it, his scent, a warm, woodsy fragrance. My heart raced as I followed it, only to find him standing there, waiting. You, he whispered, his confusion clear. His dark eyes were locked on mine. Then, without a word, he crossed the space between us, cupping my face gently. You're my mate, he said, his voice barely audible. Before I could react, he kissed me, softly at first, testing the waters. Then it deepened, and I melted into him.